Is it not working?
No, this might be damaged.
So that line here, this line over there, going that
Those work for phones, I guess, but not for this camera. Yeah. Yeah, it's a different plug. It's just one.
Yeah, no mic. Testing 1, 2, 3. I never turn it off. That's probably the reason. Somebody turned it off yesterday. I just keep it on. It's my worst nightmares not to have it on. Testing 1, 2, 3. So we're not going to use these then, right?
Test, test. Thanks for tuning in with us here at the Bullitt Experience with the Waterview Wolves here in Rowlett, Texas. If you're just tuning in with us, we're at the showcase. Each one of these girls is looking to showcase their talents. This footage will be able to be sent to college coaches during a time where we're in quarantine and coaches haven't been able to get out and recruit. This is a great opportunity for these young girls, class of 2023, 2022, and 2021, to get their footage out. A great hustle there. Currently running a wave drill.
Oh no, I'm getting the balls over there.
Great swing from the outside with Hallie, class of 2023. If you're not familiar with this drill, it's a wave drill where it's 6 versus 3. The side over here with 3 players is on for time. The other side is waving through after each rally is finished. The side of 3 is scoring, so they are continuing to keep their score with them as they wave through.
I heard her on the phone. So I was on the phone.
This is a great opportunity for these girls to get some good touches. The point of this weekend is for these young ladies to create some game footage to send over to college coaches. There hasn't been able to be very many tournaments this summer due to COVID. So here at the Bullitt, these ladies are coming together for 2 days. Yesterday we did some skill training, lots of individualized skills, some jump testing, sprint testing, and today we're doing a lot of playing. A lot of nerves as well here. Great swing from the middle. I'm loving number 37's swing. She has great ball control, great hand-on-ball contact. She's been doing really well. Great swing there from 71.
Fiona Halota, that's an interesting player. Tell me, if you're a coach and you're recruiting and you're looking for a player, she looks like a middle on the high school level, but when you talk about college, that's someone that may be 6'3", 6'4". How does that translate for her?
Well, I think it's really good that she's currently playing in the middle because I feel that it helps with speed. It helps with different attacks on the court. You definitely want to have some height at the higher levels if you're going to be a middle blocker, but there are some that are just under 6 feet that are really good. So she has a chance. I think if she keeps working on her angles, different approach patterns, that'll really help her out.
Definitely. And in the process of recruiting, how important is it to be seen? You know, for at this time, spring break, pandemic happens, there's no national qualifiers, there aren't any college camps. This is what you have. You have to showcase your talents through media and go out and give it everything you got and compete against girls from other clubs, other high schools, because the college coaches don't get a chance to go see 1,000 girls in one venue in one weekend. So how important is it to be at something like the showcase?
Yeah, this is really rare. I think the conditions we're in right now are unfortunate, but to be able to have something like this, the showcase where a group of girls in the DFW area are coming together to showcase their talents. And, you know, this day and age, technology is so good. This is great. They're able to collect this film, send it out to coaches. It's also live, so coaches are currently watching right now, and that's so great because, like you said, there haven't been any national qualifiers because of COVID, because everyone's had to quarantine. Now that things are kind of getting back into the groove, we're able to come together in smaller groups like this, and I think it's been really good for the girls.
Another player that has definitely shown some outstanding range is Sarah Carrizales. Very impressive. Great range, number 77, someone who's probably in the lead for MVP of the showcase. Coming into the showcase, winning the award, how big is that? You're competing against other girls from other areas once again. To be number one, what does that mean when you go to a camp and you win the top award?
It's really great. She's clearly got amazing ball control. She's a libero DS, and she has all the skills. She can put good handball contact on the ball. She can set. She can play defense really well. She can pass. She's encouraging other teammates. So for her to be able to say that she gets the MVP and walk away from this showcase with that under her belt, it's really going to give her an advantage. And I think she's already talking to a few colleges, but you know, she's definitely a player that I first looked at when I walked into the gym because of her skill set.
She does. She has a look, right? She comes in, she has the right stance, she has a perfect platform, she moves well, her first step is quick. That's something that every coach is going to want to see, and being able to see that and then review it, get the video, watch it again, watch it over, watch it 3 or 4 times, fall in love with a player. That's what you want, and that's what the showcase is able to provide. There's some amazing talent here today. Another great defender is Madeline George, a DS with great range, amazing speed, and she can set as well. How good is it and how important is it to be versatile?
It's so important. I think especially this day and age, college has gotten very specific, but a lot of college coaches are looking for that one player that they can put on the court in any position. And if you can pass, if you can set, if you can even take an attack out of the back row as a DS, you're giving yourself a way bigger chance to be on the court and to get recruited. And I stress all the time to players that you need to have all-around skills. Even middles, they need to be able to serve, they need to be able to pass. And so when I coach kids and when I'm talking to them about being recruited, I'm telling them to focus on those skills that maybe they're weaker at, because college coaches, when they walk into the gym, they want to see that you can do all of those things.
Now, Julianne, a great career at Texas, translates to a professional career in Italy now. What do you see as someone who's played at the top level in these young ladies? Like, I see a lot of 2023s who are competing with 2021s, competing with 2022s. You don't see age groups here. As a younger person, do you think that it's important to go to a showcase, to go show your skills early? Tell me, what do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think as a professional now, I wish that I would have been able to do something like this, where I could compete against my age group and some girls that are maybe older than me, because they're going to make you better. So these young girls that are class of 2023 that are mixed in with 2021 girls, that's a huge advantage for them, where as they're going through their high school career, they're able to say that they've played at higher levels against these girls that are maybe trained a little bit better, and they're learning from them as we speak. So I think it's definitely important. I think this showcase is so great for what's going on, like we said, with COVID and quarantine. These girls are getting a chance to collect game footage. It's not even just individual skills where they're going and hitting a few balls in a gym and then sending that off to a college coach. They're playing interactive, and they're playing against a block. They're playing against a defense. So to be able to have this and send it off is such an advantage.
What I like most at this moment is the uncontrolled environment. You know, it's easy to come out here and work serve receive. It's easy to put on video, like you said, hitting lines where you get the perfect toss, you get the perfect set. But to have the ball tossed up and a setter's got to run all over the court and you have to adjust, what does your facial expression look like? Are you down? Do you get upset at your teammate? And that's something, as a former professional athlete, our coaches always told us, hey, it's the next play. For you guys, it's the next set. It's the next point. As a professional, you know the game is never over. And I'm sure there were many times where you guys were down and came back to win. Tell me, how does it, having a positive attitude and communicating, how important is that?
It's so important. I think it's one of the mentality that you have in volleyball is one of the most important things besides skills. You have to walk into the gym with confidence. You have to be a good teammate. You know, there's 6 girls on the court at one time. This isn't an individual sport, and you have to have a positive attitude. And with how fast these drills are going right now, these girls have to be able to snap back into it, get over their mistakes really quickly. There's pressure with cameras and, you know, them knowing that this footage is maybe all they have to send to coaches this year. And so they have all that pressure. So if you can be confident and if you can shake it off really easily, then you're going to be okay when you're doing something like this. And I think it's so important. And I tell people all the time, if you can be a good teammate and you can work really hard, besides the technical part, you're in good shape.
So if you could, for people that are watching, kind of explain this drill from an outside view.
So looking at this drill, this is called a wave drill, and there's 6 players versus 3 players. The side with 6 players right now is waving through after every point. The side with 3 has a lot of pressure. They're creating points by digging the ball. So each time they touch the ball and get it up, they get a point. And so they're on here for a specific amount of time, and they are collecting points with each dig. So it's very defensive in terms of the mentality, which is personally one of my favorite things to do when I'm coaching, is to create a defensive mentality of, hey, you got to grovel. You got to get this ball up right now. You only have, you know, if you're playing against a 6-person offense and you only have 3 people over here, you have to try your best to get that ball up off the ground in order to have a chance.
So this is something you want to see: speed, range, and who's going to get dirty? Who's going to get their knees roughed up? Who's going to get on the ground, have the pancake, bump into each other a little bit, get up and get ready for the next ball coming to them?
Exactly. You don't want to be afraid. You want to go for every ball. And swings like that, it doesn't matter. If you can go and get yourself on the ground and pick that up, you're going to show that you're that person.
I love the power from Faina Halota. Very, very quick. Her swing is powerful. I'm very anxious to see her play in 6-on-6. And as we get going, I can see the girls are getting juiced up. They're ready. They're getting warm. You're starting to see a lot of emotions come out in the game. Who's more fiery? And that's someone that I want to play with.
Absolutely. I'm really liking what you saw in Fiona. I also like seeing her on the right side too. We talked earlier about her being a middle blocker and maybe being a little bit smaller to be a D1 or high level college middle blocker, but we're seeing her play a little bit of right side, which is so good because I think if she can be versatile and play each position along the net, she's going to have a better chance.
As we get moving, one of the defenders that I really like is number 8, Madeline George, a DS. You can tell she's coming off an injury just by the knee brace. Does not seem to be bothering her one bit. She's moving well. She's setting and playing defensive specialist. If I'm coming to a showcase, I know personally I'm not coming as one position. I'm coming as a volleyball player. I know in our previous conversations you said nowadays when you talk to coaches, when you talk to your friends who coach Division I level, they're like, hey, I'm not looking for a setter. I'm looking for someone who can pass, who can set, who can hit, and who can play great defense. The versatility is what is so important nowadays in the college game.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say some of the most successful volleyball players I know have played multiple positions, and you know, her being able to play setter and DS is something that's going to give her a huge advantage in college. Currently, the Texas setter was a DS when she came on to the team at Texas, and now she's the starting setter. And I think that just goes to show that if you have the versatility, if you can use your hands and you can be a good defender, you're going to have a better chance to get yourself on the court, get yourself recruited. And so, you know, she is coming off an injury, but for me, I'm looking at her and she has an awesome mentality. She's a great teammate. She's one of the only ones that I saw in the beginning of this showcase already talking and communicating with other players around her.
And that's important. Communication is everything. Julianne, a little bit about you right now. If you can give us some of your background, where you played, college, well, let's start with high school and how you even got to that level.
So I grew up in San Diego, California. I actually was a gymnast up until my high school years and didn't find volleyball until about 9th grade. But once I started playing it, I fell in love with it. I dedicated myself to it. I also was a track athlete, so that kind of helped balance my athletic side, and I was able to balance both of those sports until I kind of specialized my junior year of high school, and then was being recruited by some schools, but decided to go to Texas, where I played and was an All-American there, was Big 12 Player of the Year, and then after my college career, when I graduated, I went on and played professionally. For the past 10 years, I've been doing that. I also played for Team USA and was able to play in some pretty awesome big tournaments internationally. So my experience has been awesome. I'm so grateful for the game of volleyball. It's been such a fun thing for me to do. I currently love to coach and give back private lesson-wise and just help girls everywhere, because I know that when I was their age, maybe I was able to have such great coaches as well, and that was the reason why I was able to excel.
California, another talent-rich area in state in volleyball. You have North Texas region. NTR has over 10,000 athletes competing in volleyball. That is a lot of girls going for one spot. How important is it to be in a competitive atmosphere, getting ready for your next season, going to showcases such as this where every girl here at any point can take over a game? How does that prepare you for a season?
Yeah, it's so competitive, and back when I was playing, it was Texas region was very competitive, but now more than ever, it's been, super talented, and it's really exciting to see. The club volleyball market is getting bigger and bigger, and the talent is getting better and better, and so to be able to kind of come together with all of that talent and compete and showcase yourself as one of the best is so important, and I'm so glad that you guys have put this on. I know it's the first year, and to have this turnout and to have this talent is amazing. Speaking of talent, a great hustle play by Whitney Cunningham, 2023 outside hitter out of Saxe High School. You love seeing a person that can play back row, hustle, get to the ball, and defend. There goes Halota again with another great hit. Very strong and powerful. Like I said, I just can't wait to see her play sixes. Okay, getting dirty, getting on the ground a little bit. So tell me a little bit about platforms. How important it is keeping the shoulders down, eyes through. Well, especially in defense, you want to make sure you're in a low position. And some of these taller girls, you'll see that they're having a little trouble getting down there. But I will tell you, as somebody who's 6'2", it's possible. I play all the way around, so don't ever let your girls tell you that they can't get low enough. But it's so important having your shoulders forward, but also popping the ball straight up in defense is really important. A lot of times, girls think, okay, if I have my platform down and out, then I'm good. But that ball's coming at you very fast, and it's going to go directly back over the net if you're not popping that ball and trying to create the J curve that you can to push it up high so that somebody can get their hands on it and make a play.
So they are on a water break right now. We're going to take one as well. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. So we are going through a little bit more of the wave drill. And as we get ready for our sixes, as we get ready for our gameplay, I believe the concept is let's get as warm as nice hit by Whitney Cunningham. That, as I said before, I was talking about Whitney Cunningham. Intriguing prospect. Not quite as tall. Great vertical, as we can see right there. A strong arm. A very fast release on the hit. It's important to be able to do everything. I want to see her hit from back row.
Yeah,
that's something that I want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to see her playing back row, passing, like you said, hitting from the back row. Another important note about a smaller outside hitter is that they have to be quick on the ball. They have to have good shot selection, and that hit was down the line. So that shows me that she's not just hitting in the middle of the court. She has shot selection, and so when you're smaller like that, that's really important.
Nice up. Right to target. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Great communication. And that's something that was a nice shot. And as we said before, Sarah Carrizales has been performing very well all weekend. Another person that I want to see in sixes right now, it's a free ball, which equals a perfect pass. Opportunity for a perfect hit. I think the hardest part is being on the opposite side, where it's just the three of you. Right. Communication is very key over here. Because after see right here, this is something that you can't have. You have to be able to talk it out. You have to be able to know who's going to the ball, because it's only three of you. There's not someone who you can call help for, and that's where speed comes in. And when you talk about speed, you talk about workouts. Tell me something that you do in your off seasons as far as to get faster, to get stronger, just to be a better overall player.
Well, in off season, it's really important to work on your skill set, footwork, different jump trainings, weightlifting, things that are going to get your base right. Because when you step back on the court come season, you want to have the foundation that you've built over the summer. So, especially now with COVID, it's been kind of tough. A lot of people haven't been able to get to their normal gym workouts. So a lot of at-home workouts. But the cool thing is that this training center has been open, and some of these girls are able to do training while they're kind of waiting for volleyball to get back started. So a lot of vertical training, I think, especially if you're a hitter. Like I said, footwork, it's great for your base, because volleyball is all about moving side to side, quick movements. You want to be sprinting. You want to be doing all of those things to create that awesome foundation.
You hear often from girls, I don't want to train like a football player. I don't want to train like a basketball player. I think one thing that people don't understand is how important it is to train as an athlete. Have footwork, speed ladder, quick step drills on the boxes, Vertimax training. That relates to every sport. As a coach, I'm looking for someone who can pick up a basketball, dribble a little bit. I'm looking for someone who might be able to catch a football, shows hand-eye coordination. I know when they get on the court, I can teach them some things. When you were getting recruited at the University of Texas and multiple other universities, what is something that people, I would say, loved about your style of play and about your athleticism?
For me, I was a big hitter, so I had a lot of power. My dad is a strength coach, and he, has this background of strength training. So I was fortunate enough to start that early, start Olympic lifting early, start footwork training very, very early in my career. And so that helped me a lot. And I took pride in being the hardest worker in the room. I took pride in being somebody that got in the weight room and wasn't afraid of, being a bigger size and stronger looking. And as young women, I think that's something that we deal with. But if you want to be the best of the best, that's what we're doing. We're working it out in the gym just as much as we're working inside of the gym with the ball. We have to be able to be quick and to have power behind the ball. So that was my thing, is being very strong, being very fast, and just groveling.
One player I can tell you that definitely has been in the weight room and been working on her speed is Caitlin Childry, an outside hitter, number 37. Great range. She's able to hit. She has great passes. They're going up in the air. It's giving her setters a lot of time to get to the ball. And that's something that you like. And this is some great film for her to send to colleges during a time where there's no recruiting. When you cannot get recruited, you need film. For sure. You have to have film. And right now, her defense, her speed, she has to be one of the front runners for defensive MVP right now.
Absolutely. I love her movement on the ball. She's so quick. She has great touch and feel, as you can see. So you can tell she's really been working with the ball, as well as her weight training and her speed and agility. And so you can really see that. And I'm really liking what I see from her in terms of movement. And when you walk into a gym, you can tell by somebody's movement alone if they're a good player, because she can get to the ball. She gets her body and her core behind the ball because she's so quick.
Another prospect that I like, a young prospect, number 74, Hallie Hanks. This is about 3 passes in a row where she's not typically a back row player, but she's made some great passes. She's had some amazing hits in day 1. I'm looking forward to see what she does against higher level competition on day 2 today. And when you talk about playing against higher level competition, there are some girls in here who are on some of the best teams in the country. You have some girls in here who are not on some of those teams that would be ranked so high. But right now, as I'm looking, it's kind of hard to tell who is what, because the competition level, it makes you rise to that level. It's so high, which makes it much more intriguing to see when it's time to play sixes. Uncontrolled. Setters on both sides. Hitters on both sides. We're seeing everybody look great right now. As a recruiter, as a coach, what are you looking for in a controlled drill versus an uncontrolled atmosphere?
In a controlled drill, I want to see big hits. I want to see, if you have no blocker up, I want to see what you can do if that was a situation where there was no blocker up. I want to see perfect passes because this is a free ball. I want to see perfect sets because you're more than likely getting a perfect pass. And so those things are happening during a controlled drill that I would like to see as a recruiter. Now, when we get to 6-on-6, as a recruiter, that's kind of where I'm going to be looking at the film the most, because that's game-like, that's real. And, you can be really good in a controlled environment, but once we get into that 6-on-6 where there's pressure, where you're hitting versus a block and you're hitting versus a defense and you're going against all of that, that's where you're going to have to shine and you're going to have to pull yourself to be the best you can be.
Number 75, Bracy Bordeaux, listed as an outside hitter, has the size for maybe a smaller school middle or a right side. If this is someone that's an outside hitter, she has a strong arm. Do you want to see more placement on her hits, or during a drill like this, do you just want to see the straight power that she has?
I would say both. I think when she's on this side with 3, it's really showcasing her defense. And as a bigger player, you can see that she can move towards the ball. So I like her being an outside. As big as she is in the high school realm, when you get to the college realm, that's kind of a size of an outside. And so I like seeing her push the limits and create that for herself by being an outside and playing multiple positions, going for the ball on defense and being able to move. But really, when she's hitting, I want to see her power.
That was a great hit. Great hit by number 14, Elizabeth Langford, which is a setter. When you're talking about a setter that can hit, that can come with power, that's something that you don't see all the time. Could she go somewhere and play all around? I don't know. I guess we're going to see when it goes to sixes.
Yeah, I think it's really cool when setters are able to attack. I've played with some really good setters that, have great hands, but then once in a while they'll be able to bust out a nice swing if they get set just kind of chaotically in the middle of a game, and it's just nice. It's a nice thing to have in your arsenal.
One component that I love right now is the communication on the side of 6. I would like to see a little bit more communication on the side of the more defensive side, because I think that's where you would need more of it. We see Elizabeth Langford pointing, letting her teammate know, hey, you're here, you have front, I have back. And that's important, especially being on the defensive side, being a defensive player. You have to be loud. You have to be vocal. You have to know that no matter what, the person that's next to me or the teammate that's next to me, there's no way she can say she didn't hear me. That's so important. And I know you're playing in front of 15,000 people at the University of Texas, and then when you're in Italy, it's even crazier. How important is communication?
Oh man, I would say it's 90% of the game of volleyball. You have to be able to communicate. You have to know where your teammates are on the court, and you have to be present. And you're looking up a lot of the time, so you're looking away from your teammates a lot of the time at the ball. And so when you're on the court and you're with 5 other people, you have to be calling out where you're setting, where you are at on the court, and calling for the sets as well, and to let everyone know that you're open. It also kind of gives and instills confidence in your teammates that you're ready and available and that you're present.
I tell you, in football, communication is everything, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And I thought that it was the most important sport for communication, but I was all the way wrong until I started watching volleyball and understanding, because I think something that a coach just drives a coach crazy is when the ball hits the ground, and especially when two young ladies are looking at it that could have gotten to the ball. Tell me about a situation where you have the first up and your setter doesn't get to it. As an outside, do you feel like, hey, look, my job is to only be able to hit, or do I need to sometimes know that I have to help my setter and get to that ball?
Yeah, I think it is important to be available and get yourself off the net and open to hit and kind of let everyone else around you take the second ball. But it is also important to know when to take that ball if it's in your, range and it's kind of a chaotic play. So I think it's just important to be ready regardless, and to be a hard transitioner off the net, get yourself prepared, but also step in when necessary. And I think that's kind of the volleyball IQ that you need to have, an understanding of what's going on and being aware is really important, and not just being, I'm here just to hit. You have to be available for every other play.
Volleyball IQ is so important, and it's not just knowing what your job is, but also knowing what your other teammates' job is, what the setter's job is, what the right side's job is, what your DS's job is. How does that, as a college coach, I'm going to ask the high school coach, hey, how smart is this young lady? How big does that play a role into the process of being recruited?
Yeah, it's huge. I think you can tell a player's IQ kind of just by watching them play 6-on-6. So when we get to the 6-on-6, you'll see it's court awareness, right? And volleyball IQ is a lot about knowing what's going on the other side of the net, but also what's going on your side, like you said. So knowing position-wise, if I need to go behind a player in defense to cover her, or if I need to be ready to take the second ball because my setter is not there, those types of things. And reading, I think reading is something that we don't talk about enough for young players. We don't teach this enough, I think, in high school ball, is to be able to read and react on the ball. A lot of times you just teach the mentality of go for it, which is great, but you also want to have that understanding and vision of the court and understand kind of the options that a player has when she's hitting. So if the ball is inside, just like that ball just now, if the ball is inside, she only has a few options on that ball to swing, right? So if you can eliminate a few other options, then you're able to read better on the court. And so that's kind of volleyball IQ, and that's what I want to see when I'm recruiting.
I think as a high school player, I don't think that a lot of them understand the importance of watching film. As a dad, the first thing I want to do, I want to record everything. I want to record practice. I want to record gameplay. I want to get that film, and I want to be able to break it down. As a coach, when you're watching film, I think that they need to understand it's not just watching your best hit. We need to watch the things you did wrong. We need to watch how you didn't get to the ball, and that's what's going to make you the better player.
Yeah, one of the things that I teach when I'm talking to coaches or players is the importance of watching game film of yourself. A lot of times as coaches, we focus on an opponent and we watch film of them to get prepared as a team, which is great. But let's watch film and footage of ourselves and also individually. So if we can take some time to watch film with each one of our players and show them how to watch films, how to break that down, it will be a game changer. It was the biggest lesson that I learned for myself was how to self-coach. I would go home from a practice, ask for the practice film from my coach. I would go home, watch it, and watch my entire practice, how I looked, what my body language was like, what I was doing off the ball, which means what I was doing away from the ball, and when I wasn't touching the ball, was I in a ready position or was I standing straight up? And as young girls, we tend to criticize ourselves a little bit more. If we can create a better environment and get out of that habit of, I don't want to watch myself because I hate how I look, or I don't like what I did on that play. And we can look at it more as constructive criticism, and we can see, okay, maybe I didn't get my feet to the ball on that. What can I do better next time? That's going to really create something that's going to better yourself as a player, and you're going to be able to do that on your own. And a coach isn't going to always have to tell you what to do every time. When you can see yourself do it, you're self-critiquing your own footage, so that's great.
So they are finishing up this drill. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll be back soon. So we are moving on to live 6-on-6. We have purple versus black. Purple on the near side, black on the opposite side. This is something you want to see at a showcase, 6-on-6. You want to see the drills. You want to see the individual. You want to see the testing. Then it all boils down to this. How does someone perform when you're with new players, you're in a different environment? I can see how you can be a volleyball player. I can see how you fit in with my team. I'm watching body language. I'm watching how you hit. I'm watching how you adjust to maybe a bad pass or a bad set. How do you react to those different situations? I know as a former professional athlete, at any time you can be in a situation where you have to play a different position. Do you turn into a one-dimensional player or do you become an overall volleyball player? And that's what scouts and coaches are going to be looking at now. You might list yourself as an outside hitter. Well, you might not be as tall and you might have to be a back row player. So can you back row attack? Can you move well with the ball? These are all things that as a coach I'm looking for. As a college coach I'm watching. I want to see how you move now. Now we're in a different situation. It's 6-on-6. I don't know the young lady next to me. I have to communicate. I have to be loud. I have to not be embarrassed to be louder than anyone in the gym. How important is that, Julianne, as a player, to now that we're going 6-on-6, we get to see the live action. I get to see who's communicating and who's not.
I think, it's important to show off your skills, but the other ways that you can separate yourself is through being loud, being a good teammate. Like you said, not being embarrassed. It is kind of, a weird situation, but this is the only chance they have, right? We have about an hour left of just straight 6-on-6 play. So I want to see the girl that's going for every ball as well as being super encouraging and loud and calling for the ball.
I love the jump serve by Mackenzie Colwell, number 31, a 2023 prospect out of Saxe High School. When you talk about a jump serve, there's a lot that you can do with it. You can get a little spin on it. You can float it. As a defender, how annoying is that when you have someone that's consistent with their jump serve, that can place the ball in multiple places? It puts a lot of stress on the team.
Yeah, it does. And I think a great serve there, but you see how it's flat, it's coming at you pretty fast, and that's really hard for a passer, especially when the serve has no spin coming off the jump. A lot of times we think the jump top spin serve may be the hardest, but actually the flat float is one of the hardest serves to pass at any level, and you'll actually find that at the USA Volleyball level, most of the girls are serving jump floats because of that reason. If you can get good speed on it, you're in good shape.
I can tell you, as someone who's in the back view watching, that ball is moving very awkwardly. It has no spin on it, and it's going all over the place at the same time. If you've ever seen a knuckleball in baseball, that's what a jump serve that's flat looks like. It is not it's not easy to defend, very difficult to defend. Mackenzie Colwell has one of the most consistent serves in North Texas region, so she's definitely a player to watch out for in the future. Good communication. Nice set. Let's see what she does with it. Nice. Oh, and she got her hands on it. That's one of those as a coach, you're like, why would you reach back? Right. You can't do anything with it. You can't get it up. It's going out.
Yeah, you have to trust your teammates on something like that. You really have to trust that a high ball that's coming off the block, one of your teammates is covering you behind you. You can't reach back like that.
It was a great hit. Nice, strong hit, but an even better block. And I think sometimes we try to do too much. And when you reach back, sometimes you got to look back and be like, hey, let me take my chances. I think this ball's going out. But that's where court awareness and court IQ comes in. And the little details, it will set you apart from other players.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Keely Williams with the serve, number 10. 2023 prospect out of Garland High School. That was a great serve. Nice defense, great up. Let's see what she does with it here. Okay, she mixes it. I like that. Mix it up, change it a little. Great hands on the ball. Great hands on the ball. Nice set. Okay, footwork.
So I do like the players mixing it up a little bit. On those balls specifically, though, in transition, you want to try to get a little more power behind it because it's not a perfect set. So a lot of times people think that you should tip the ball when it's not a perfect set, but actually you should off speed and tip the ball in more perfect situations because the defense is expecting you to hit the ball. So on that situation, it's a tough ball, it's transition. I would like to see a little more power behind that.
Talk to me about the dump as a setter, because when you talk about mixing it up, it's something that can definitely catch a defense off guard. Maybe a defense that's maybe a team that's more powerful that relies on their hitting that doesn't move as well. As a setter, if you can dump very well, is that something as a coach you're like, hey, this young lady's smart, she knows when and where to place the ball, and she mixes it up as well?
Yeah, I think it's all about when and where. Like you said, especially in these types of situations, we're probably mostly going to have a back row setter the whole time. So you're only going to really see hand setting over the net, and you have to be really crafty. When they're front row, you like to see a little more aggressiveness, which is great. And so some of these setters are actually left-handed, which gives them the advantage when they're front row that they can take a swing, which I love to see. So a lot of times it just depends on the situation and mixing it up, like you said. I love to see a setter that creates opportunities for her hitters while at the same time taking the chance and taking a dump.
So at this time, we're going to go ahead and bring over a player with us, Sarah Carrizales. Hopefully I pronounced that right. If not, I'm sure she'll correct me, and we'll get that right pretty soon. We're going to bring Sarah over and interview her. Sarah, if you could go ahead and tell us, how important is it at this time to be at a showcase, to show your talent? We know that you have multiple schools looking at you, but there's no film. The pandemic happened. You haven't been able to play since March. How important is this?
This is really important so I can get my name out there and being able to be recruited to other colleges. But it's just really important to me because I put so much effort into this sport and I just love it. It's my everything.
A 2021 player that has been very impressive today. One of the front runners for MVP of the 2022. Oh, even better. A 2022 player that has been one of the front runners for MVP right now. Is it that important to win that award at this event?
To me, it doesn't really matter. It's as long as I give it my all, that's just all important so that the college coaches can reach out to me and stuff like that.
That's great. So let's go ahead and let the college coaches know how to say your name. Okay, I'm sure people mess it up a lot, right?
Yeah, it's Sarah Carrizales.
There we go. Thank you, Sarah. We appreciate you. I have Bracy Bordeaux, 2022 outside hitter. Bracy, tell us, how important is it to be at this showcase right now? The pandemic happened. You haven't been able to play in a competitive tournament since March. You're here now. You're one of the top performers at this moment, one of the leaders in possibly an award. All the cameras are on. You're able to get quality footage, and you're able to get sixes in so people can see what you can do. How important is this to you as an individual who is trying to get recruited?
It's important because it shows first off, you're here in the first place with everything going on. It's your choice to be here, so you don't have to be here with everything going on. So that's one thing. It shows a lot of character in you. And it's good on the player's perspective because it's giving you more touches and more colleges to look at you, especially with all the cameras and everything. So I think it's pretty good.
Outside hitter. I'm sure you hear middle often. I'm sure you hear right side. Are you a player that can play all around? Are you someone who, if coach needs you to be a defender, can you get back there in the back row? And if a school said, hey, I want you to be a middle blocker, is that something that will hold you back?
No, actually, I'm a middle. That's my main spot. But I can really work anywhere on the front row. And my school, my freshman year, my sophomore year this year, I played all the way around because, just if something happened, I could play all the way around. So I could really play anywhere, but especially on the front row, I could play defense if you wanted me to. It may not be the prettiest, but I could do it.
I think that's something that coaches love to see. You're willing to get out there. You're willing to play any position, and I think you have a great future. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to watching the rest of the showcase. We have Caitlin Childry, a 2022 outside hitter. Caitlin, how important is it to be at a showcase? You haven't played since March. You've probably only been able to do a few clinics here and there, but you need film. Of course, your goal is to go to college. How important is it to have the cameras, to have the opportunity to get the recorded footage, to be able to play against a lot of great talent, and to get sixes in along with positional work?
I think it's really important, especially the fact that like quarantine was going on and everyone was kind of like just at home trying to be safe. Well, I was trying to like still get touches here and there. Every opportunity I get, I try to make sure I play my best and give it my all. And especially when cameras are on, it gives the opportunity to get some film here and there, to get recruiting starting and all that. So
with you being labeled as an outside hitter, I don't see that. I see an all-around player. Is this something that if a school was like, hey, I need you to be a back row player that can back row attack, is that something that you're open to?
Oh, yes, for sure. I try to be like a
team player.
Yes, team player, just really coachable. I put me wherever and I'll do my best wherever I'm playing and give it my all.
So what are your goals for this upcoming fall, granted that we have one?
Yeah, if we have one, then my goal is to just dominate outside hitting and play all around. That's my goal, all around outside hitter, and just get a lot of film so I can get started on recruiting. And yeah.
Well, you're having a great start right now. Definitely getting some high quality film right now, and looking forward to see what the rest of the showcase. All right, good luck. I have Fiana Halatoa. You can say just a straight front row player. Fiana, tell us a little bit about what position you play and where you get all your power from on your hits.
I'm an outside hitter, and my power, I feel like, is from my hips, turning my hips and my shoulder.
So it's obvious you're in the weight room. You've definitely been doing some things this off season. Tell us about what you've been doing as far as workout wise.
I've been going to Vertimax and to get my jumping higher, and some core stuff.
The Vertimax is so crucial and critical. I don't think a volleyball player should not have the Vertimax involved in their off-season workouts. So a little bit about the showcase. You're here today. Obviously, you're a player who is trying to get recruited. I'm sure that you are already getting recruited. Tell us about the schools that have interest in you and some of the schools that you have interest in.
My interests are in Texas Longhorns, and I've been getting hits from Utah volleyball, and so a lot of schools in Florida and here in Texas.
So a Power 5 school, very, very high accomplishment. When you talk about recruiting, you haven't been able to play since March. You're here. You're getting 6-on-6 action. Not only that, you have testing. You have positionals. How important is that to have on film and to be able to show colleges, hey, look what I can do. You can't recruit right now. Look at my tape. I'm ready and I'm willing.
It's extremely important for me.
So something like the showcase, all the cameras, footage, is this something that you would recommend to other players who are truly serious about being recruited to go to college?
Yes, because they get to watch you not only on the court but off the court and see who you are as a person.
That's awesome. I think you're a great player. You have a bright future, and we look forward to see what the rest you do this season. We have Hallie Hanks, a 2023 outside hitter / middle blocker out of Saxe High School. Hallie, great performance so far this weekend. You're one of the younger ones here. Tell us how important it is to be at the showcase, showing your skills on camera where you can have it recorded, and to be able to get gameplay in and action where people can watch you and coaches can see you, and you can have this film to take with you for next year and the next year, and coaches can see how you improve. How important is that?
It's very important because you need to get yourself out there so that people can see your skills and to know that like you have you're going to be a competition to anybody else.
Hallie, you had one of the more impressive vertical jumps. You've obviously been on the Vertimax. Tell us how important it is to be able to be on the Vertimax and to be able to have an off-season training plan.
The Vertimax is very, very, very good. It helps you jump higher and get farther to the side, and
Yeah, it's a great tool, and you're moving well. I love your speed. Tell us about your off-season workout plan. What have you been doing as far as workouts?
I've definitely been on the Vertimax. I've been coming to Bullitt and working out with my teammates, and yeah.
Doing a lot of speed work?
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, Hallie, you keep working. I'm looking forward to see what you do this season, and good luck to you the rest of the showcase.
Okay.
I have Jenna Wade, a middle blocker, class of, Jenna, tell me?
Class of 2022.
Class 2022. She's about to get going. Jenna, we'll catch up with you in a second, okay? So we have Madeline George, a 2021 DS, who is here at the showcase showing great range, amazing speed, and just overall great gameplay. Tell us about the showcase and how important it is to be here to show schools and colleges that you want to play volleyball at the next level.
Well, I've played volleyball my whole life, and my whole life has always revolved around for so long, and being here I think it really helps me show my range and how I play and how important it is to my life.
And one thing you've shown is great leadership on the court. I see you communicating, I see you moving to the ball, and I see you having a great attitude. How important is that to have a great attitude, especially during a time like this? You haven't played since March. This is your first time to get sixes, and it looks like you're having fun. That's the most important part. Tell us about that.
Well, it's always very important to have fun, especially when you love the game. It's hard to have a bad attitude when it's something you love doing, and I feel like it's also my job to make sure other people are also having fun when you're on the court at all times.
You know, you're at the showcase, a lot of great competition. It's not a big crowd, but you can tell there are some girls here who have been putting in work. How do you separate yourself when you're on the court?
I just try to make sure that I do the best I can do, whether it's I'm setting or hitting. Even though I'm not really a hitter, I try to make sure I can show the best of my abilities personally.
So, a knee injury doesn't seem to be bothering you. Tell us about that.
Yeah, last summer I strained my ACL and LCL, and I've been wearing it for a year now. It will be a year around this time, but I basically just keep it to where I keep wearing it so I won't like tear my ACL for my senior year, because it's very important. Volleyball's so important to me. I don't want to be out for the season.
Madeline, looks like you're having a great time. Tell us about the showcase. Are you loving it?
I'm absolutely loving it. I think I'm getting a lot of good touches, a lot of good like teammates. I'm meeting a lot of new friends, and I love it.
Well, I think you're going to have a great season. Keep working, and let's see if you can win one of those awards at the end of the showcase.
Let's hope so.
If you were to win one, which one would you want?
I would say the showcase MVP. I just want to go big or go home.
Why do you deserve the MVP? Tell us, lay it out there.
I feel like as a whole, I've always been told to be a leader on the court, and I feel like I'm trained that way. I feel like getting that award would really show how I portray myself on the court.
Awesome. Well, good luck to you, and we'll be looking forward to watching you this season. We have Maddie Levis, a front row player out of Raleigh High School, class of 2023. Maddie, you're having a great weekend. Amazing day one, having a great day two. Tell us a little bit about how important the showcase is and how important it is for you to be around such great competition and be able to get high quality reps.
Pretty much if you play like better players, like they're gonna make you to play as hard as you can get. Like you can,
No, you're fine. And I think what you're trying to say is being in an atmosphere where everyone's giving everything they have.
Yeah.
That's what's so important, and it's up in your game, man. We can tell that.
Yeah, for sure. Because like when they're playing their hardest, you're like, oh yeah, I had to play my hardest too. To be like, you had to step up your game.
And that's something you've definitely done.
Yeah.
So this off season, you've been on the Vertimax.
Yeah.
You've been working on your speed. Tell us, how do you think that's helped you getting ready for this upcoming fall and going into the club season?
It's helping me a lot because I was like really slow to like run my plays and everything, and the Vertimax and working on my speed is like helping me like do like faster on the court and helping me run like different positions and everything.
Well, Maddie, you're having a great showcase. Keep it up. Looking forward to see the rest of the season. Another great hit by Fiona Halatoa. Just a player who has been offensively powerful, and we just saw a second ago placed a great shot, not down the line, but right in between your back row defenders, and that's something so important. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more 6-on-6 action. we have Brooke Hutchings, 2022 outside hitter. Brooke, you're having an amazing performance at the showcase. Some great hits. Tell us about how important it is to be here.
It is very important to be here because it's showing not only y'all but the people watching me that my performance is good and that I'm ready to play and that I'm here to play and that I want to work hard and be here and do everything that is necessary to play.
The one thing we've noticed is your hard work. You're on the court, you're hitting well, you're moving well. Off season, you haven't been able to play since March. How big is it to be able to get great positional work day one, see your testing, and then come back day two and get live sixes, game-like action to show what you can do as a player who's trying to go to college? How important is that for you to have to show the colleges?
It's very important because we haven't really been able to practice, but as soon as you get on the court, you need to be able to work hard and just show off what you can do. And
I think you've done an amazing job. I think you're moving well, you're hitting amazing. As someone who is a hitter, are you opposed to being a back row player?
I mean, I like to pass, and I think as much as I work at, I think I'd be a pretty good back row player.
I think you would too, and you're definitely going to be someone on the next level who can back row attack as well as hit outside. Brooke, good luck to you, and we'll be watching you this season.
Thank you.
We have Mecca Ella Bakud, DS setter, class of 2023 out of Saxe High School. Ella, tell us, how important is it to be at the showcase with such great talent and to be able to showcase your talents against them on film, have that recorded film, and send to colleges?
It is very important. As we learn here, to be the best, you have to go against the best, and that's exactly what's going on here today.
That's awesome, man, and there's so much great talent. You can tell your game has really stepped up. What have you been doing this off season to improve your game, your speed, your agility, your vertical?
While we've been off due to Corona, I've been in my house working out with my siblings and going on about 4-mile runs each and every day to be in shape.
Well, you've definitely improved your speed. One of the faster players yesterday in the 5-10-5, and that's something that's critical for a defensive player. Versatility, that's a big deal. You can play back row, you can set. Is it important to you to be able to be a player that's like, hey, coach, I can do everything?
Yes, it's very important because you never know if anyone is going to be out of the game, so you have to be ready and have your chance at every single spot you can.
Ella, you're having a great performance this weekend. I'm looking forward to watching you this fall and get ready for the club season.
Thank you.
We have Alyssa Lopez, class of 2023 out of Saxe High School. An interesting prospect, an outside hitter who can play DS as well. I'd call you an all-around player. What about you?
I could say I could play it all around, but still have to improve on some things.
That's good. Alyssa, tell us about the showcase and how important it is to be here with this amazing talent, showing what you can do against them, and also get the footage yourself.
It's just exciting to play with such great players out here, and not only that, but to prove colleges that all of us belong on the court.
Belong on the court, and that's a big deal. You're a player that never wants to come off the court. Versatility is big. You can play all around. You can play on the front row. You can play on the back row. What have you been doing this offseason to prepare yourselves for opportunities like the showcase?
Well, I've been here in the gym 24/7, working my butt off, going over the limit, and that's what I'll keep doing.
That's awesome, Melissa. I'm looking forward to you having a great season. Hopefully we have one this fall at Saxe High School, and you keep working.
All right, thank you.
We have Jenna Wade, a middle blocker, class of 2022. Jenna, you're here at the showcase this weekend. A lot of great talent. You're definitely a standout. Tell us how important it is to be here, to have the footage, to have schools to be able to watch, and to get that recorded film that you can send out to schools.
Super important because, right now with the pandemic going on, there's not a whole lot of opportunities in my town to get seen, and so this is a really good way to be with other girls who are as good and better than I am to get the competition in.
Jenny, you're someone who lists yourself as a middle blocker, but as I watch you, you can play right side or outside. Is versatility something that's important to you?
Yes, because with colleges, I think it gives more opportunity whenever you can list yourself as more than one position player.
When we're talking about colleges, you're definitely a player that's being recruited. Tell us your dream schools, and tell us some of the schools that are recruiting you currently.
The dream colleges would probably be Baylor and KU, Kansas University. And at the moment, nobody's I haven't got anything personally, but if those looked at me, that would be the dream.
Now, a weekend like this, the performance you're having, you're able to get positional work on film, your testing on film, then your live gameplay on film. Is this something that you believe can help you accelerate that process?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Jenna, that's awesome. I think you're having a great weekend. Good luck the rest of the year, and we'll be looking forward to watching you.
Thank you.
I'm here with Brian Gossett of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Brian, tell us a little bit about the showcase this weekend, how unique it is, how different it is, and how possibly it might change your recruiting camps.
Yeah, I mean, with the last, 5-6 months with the COVID, with the club sports being kind of canceled, there's no games. This is a great way for the girls to showcase their skills. And, you got you and Friday Night Glory done a great job to get this thing going and letting college coaches watch and parents watch. So it's awesome to see some competition.
Great competition. And that's one thing that you might not have expected the talent level to be so high with COVID going on. But these girls obviously want to play at the next level. As a coach and as a recruiter, you're someone who writes on girls sports all the time. To be able to get that film with no games, nothing going on, how important is that?
Oh, very important. You want to keep active, and this is a great way to, perfect your craft and get better. And what's good about it is, you have a lot of younger kids here, 2022s, 23s, just kind of that next wave of talent in the area. So it's awesome. And like we talked about yesterday on Saturday, just you get a chance to play offense and defense, and that's very important in the sport of volleyball for any position.
Brian, we appreciate you being here. Looking forward to the write-up on the showcase, and can't wait to watch you write up more on the season.
All right, thanks for having me.
We have Nicole Selders, class of 2023, Garland High School. Nina, can I call you Nina? Yes. Nina, tell us how important it is to be at the showcase, the talent level, and what you've done this off season to get ready for things such as this.
It's important to be at this showcase because you get to showcase your skills to colleges. Even if you're not looking to go to college, it's still an opportunity to get your touches in and to get better with people who are trying to get better too.
So it's obvious the majority of the girls here are trying to go to college. Nina, we understand that you have above 4.0 GPA. So you're someone who could be looking at a Ivy League school, a HBCU with a high academic prestige. Tell us about a dream school that you'd want to go to and pursue volleyball.
Xavier College in Louisiana. They have a nice medical program, and then they also have a good volleyball program.
So to be able to do both, medical school, play volleyball, the total package.
Yeah.
The showcase, how does that help with that, with not having volleyball the past 6 months?
It's getting back in the groove of how the competition is going to look once you get to higher levels and then once you get to college.
Nina, I have no doubt you're going to excel at the next level. Good luck this season, and thank you.
Thank you.
Julianne, I've got to interview some great players. Every one of them have aspirations of playing at the next level. The number one thing they said is, I'm able to get quality reps. I'm on film. I have recorded footage that I can send to schools. But not only do I have individual work, testing, I also have live gameplay, 6-on-6. How big is that, once again, to be able to have that and on film that you can send to any college in any conference?
That's what they're looking for. Game footage is what they want. College coaches are looking for 6-on-6 play as well as individual skill sets, and the fact that these kids have been able to do their jump testing, their speed testing, their vertical testing, as well as a combination of skills that showcase what they can do on an individual scale, and then you put them in 6-on-6 play kind of with these even teams that have, you know, a variety of skill sets, different age groups. You're really showcasing that, and that is what this is doing, and it's so special that these girls get this chance, especially during a time where they haven't had the same club experience as they have had in previous years. And so you can't say that, you know, this isn't important. This is exactly what they need right now.
Definitely. And when you have something like this, as a coach, you're going to pick an all-showcase team. You're going to pick your all-tournament team, especially something this big and this important. We have that list now. They've turned it in. The girls have participated for 2 days. They've given it everything they've had. We're going to go ahead and announce that all-showcase team. The all-showcase team is number 55, Aubrey Falco. Number 25, Brooke Hutchings. Number 77, Sarah Carasales. Number 71, Fiona Halatoa. Number 37, Caitlin Childry. Number 21, Ella Bakud. And number 74, Hallie Hanks. When you talk about the big awards, the big three, defensive MVP, offensive MVP, and then overall MVP, how big is it to take one of those home?
It's such a confidence booster. I think it's really important that these girls are able to kind of see themselves in that light. And so if you're able to take home not only just an all-tournament team, but one of the big three awards, it shows that you've put in the work, that you've been keeping up with your skills and your training off the court, and that you really have something to show for it. So I think it's exciting. I think it's a confidence booster. These girls that are receiving these awards have to have enthusiasm about that.
As we get started with the awards, our first up, defensive MVP, Sarah Carasales. Great range, number 77, Sarah. I'm looking forward to see her play this fall. She's someone who is definitely a player that can do a lot. She can play back row. She can set. She looks like she can even hit if she had to. Just having that versatility is so important, and I think that's one of the reasons the coaches have chosen her to be the defensive MVP. A late addition to the all-showcase team, and I think that she was also one of the ones who was up for MVP and missed by one vote, is number 8, Madeline George. So as we move on to the next award, our offensive MVP is, I don't want to mess this name up, Fiona Halatoa. I'm sure she gets that a lot. I hate when people mess my name up, but she's someone that pretty soon in college. She said Utah's looking at her. She could be a household name. Strong arm, places the ball well. Tell us what you like from her this weekend and why she deserved the offensive MVP.
Honestly, her athleticism, her ability to put power behind the ball, her placement. She's playing left side, she's playing right side. She's got range, and this girl can attack the ball. She is getting up high. Like I said, her athleticism is something that I've looked at since she walked into this gym, and I would have given her the offensive player of the tournament from the get-go. She's got such power, as you can see with that kill on the outside. She has range. Like I said, her angles are sharp. She's put up a huge block as well, and it's just really fun to watch her play.
And it wouldn't have been a push to say that she could have been MVP either. She's shown up. She's put in the work, and there's a lot of talent here, and she stood out for sure. So as we come to the top award, this is the big one, the one that everyone wants, the MVP. That's going to go to Caitlin Childry, number 37. Overall, dominant this weekend. Great job on our individual drills, but just in 6-on-6, she showed that she's a player that needs to be recruited, not just a mid-major. She's someone who's pushing to go Power 5. Fix a few things here and there, the offers can come in. MVP, well-deserved. Tell us what you think about her weekend.
Yeah, I think she's been doing a phenomenal job from the get-go, from her testing all the way to 6-on-6. And like you said, she stood out with the individual drills. Her ball control, her ability to place the ball where she wants to put it. She has a great volleyball IQ. She can really see the court, and she's a good teammate. You know, all of those qualities are something that you're going to look for in an MVP, and she stood out.
There was so much talent here this weekend. It's hard to choose, but she stood out. And that's what's important. When you're able to stand out and you're able to do that, that's what separates you and make you the MVP. So thank you so much for joining us. And next season, Julianne, I'm excited to do this again and have more talent and have the next wave come in and have these girls come and showcase their skills and be able to get this footage and send it to anyone, anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that this is just the first year that you guys have put on this showcase is amazing. It's so cool to see this talent. Not everybody knew about this, and so I'm guessing that next season you're going to have a waiting list just from what this has turned out to be, the footage, the value that they're getting out of the reps, the footage that they can send to college coaches that they're not getting currently right now. We don't know what's happening with the season coming this fall, so this is something that they can take home, take away, they can look at for themselves and also send off to colleges.
Julianne, we appreciate you. Good luck this season in Italy. This is Melvin Bullitt signing off from the showcase. Thank you.